Vanakkam. I am Balamurugan Mardavanan. This is very first video of Azure Basic Series. This video we are going to talk about cloud models. What are the models available currently in the market and how organizations are utilizing those models. Let's talk about first model. Before seeing the first model, let me give you overview type of clouds available currently in the market. The very first one is private cloud. What is private cloud? Uh, this is fully owned by single organization and their services, and it's not shared with anyone else. And there are some specific characteristics we'll talk about in the next slide. And public cloud, this is shared cloud which is provided by type of cloud service provider like Microsoft providing Azure, Google providing GCP, and Amazon is providing AWS. Currently there are multiple public cloud services available. I will talk about common one like Oracle providing OCI and hybrid. What is hybrid? So there is a organization which is utilizing both private and public cloud in a shared manner. That that type of network we called as a hybrid. We'll talk about in detail in next slide. And there is another unique concept, multi-cloud. There is an organization using multiple clouds from multiple service provider. Why they are using, why they want to go for multiple vendor. We'll talk about advantage and disadvantage in the upcoming slides. Private cloud. Every organization have the data center and every organization have the multiple services, which is make data center become cloud. There are defined standard if the data center meeting these standards. So that data center we can call it as a private cloud. So there are characteristics because for example I have server and I have installed a virtualization and I'm creating multiple servers manually and running multiple services, and there are users accessing from all over the world using the private network. So can I call this a cloud? No, I cannot call this as a cloud. There are characteristics should meet, my data center should meet, then only I can call them as a private cloud. First one, very first one, most important one, there should be a self-service portal. What is self-service portal? If you talk the legacy concept, there should be a virtualization administrator. And if you want a server, you have to go and talk to the virtualization team. I need a server. And they will give you the template, fill it out. How many CPU you need, how many RAM it's record, what is the workload running, what is the network connectivity you record. So once you fill up the form and the team will raise a change request and they will go and create a server. In the self-service portal, once we created a self-service portal, there are multiple vendor. For this basic series, we just want to know about the term only. Self-service portal, a developer log into a portal and create their own virtual machine in a single click. And he can define a network as well. So if the organization providing a self-service portal to create a virtual machine, it's one of the main characteristics to become a private cloud. And standard network access, there should be defined network access for the private cloud like VPN, API, and management via web portal, REST API, like that. MPLS connection. There should be a standard procedure to access the network. And one more characteristic is pooled resources. What is pooled resources? You may have multiple servers, and each server may have unique hardware configuration. In the cloud manner, there should be a pool of servers to merge together as a cluster, and we can able to easily scale and scale down. So your data center have the capability to pool the resources and create the virtual machine top of it. It's a main one of the characteristics. There shouldn't be any physical server running a single application. If goes down, the application may completely go down, and there is no option to migrate it to another hardware. So one point of failure shouldn't be there. and scalability. If organization want to become a private cloud, the scalability is the main reason. Of course, we cannot scale it rapidly. There should be resource limitations. Since it's a private cloud, you may have the cluster and multiple cluster merged together as a single cluster. Based on the cluster capacity up to that high, there should be a option to scale it up. And there is one more very must characteristics, which is measuring the service, and the developer creating a server, and there should be some mechanism to monitor the server utilization, how much allotted, how much the server is using, and there should be a mechanism to creating a alert. And if you created a pooled service, if you created a self-service portal, and if your organization is able to scale rapidly, but if you are unable to track who is using what and what is the utilization of the services, that is, we cannot call it as a private cloud. So these are all five basic characteristics. What are the data center meeting this prerequisite? We can call it as a private cloud. Public cloud. What is public cloud? How it's different from private cloud? Public cloud in the sense this is provided by a service provider. We are not owning any of the hardware. The hardware is owned by the service provider like Microsoft, AWS, Oracle. So it's a shared responsibility model. Certain stages the service provider will take care, like securing the physical hardware, connecting the network, and purchasing the hardware, maintaining the hardware. Those characters the service provider will take care. As a client, we can go and request, I need this many capacity virtual machine. Using the self-service portal, we can deploy our complete network and virtual machine. So it's a shared multi-tenant network. So we are not alone standing there. There will be multiple organization utilizing the same pool of resources. Public cloud doesn't mean it's publicly accessible from anyone. Public cloud also providing an option for us to secure the network using a private tunnel. So in the complete session, that's what we are going to talk about: how to secure the what is public cloud, Azure public cloud, and how Microsoft is helping us to secure our public cloud network. We will talk about each and every resources of the Azure in detail. Hybrid cloud. What is hybrid cloud? Why organization want to use the hybrid cloud? I have set up as a private cloud, and I know I have thousands of users each, and I have 10 application. I know this 10 application record this much compute resources. It may increase 25 percentage, 35 percentage in next 1 year, or 5 years 50 percentage, 10 year 100 percentage. Based on that, I can purchase the hardware and I can scale rapidly my private cloud. And in case I am running a e-commerce website and my organization hosting some big million kind of big millions kind of sale yearly once, and it may go for a week or two. So that case, and the particular week or two, my utilization will be rapidly increasing, double the size of my organization. Definitely for a 2 weeks in a year, I cannot increase my private cloud capacity. Why? Because this is there is no return going to come. Over the complete year, that is devices will be sleeping ideal. So that's how organizations selecting the hybrid cloud. The most important thing, if you want to call my organization using a hybrid cloud, the app should share the resources between public and private cloud. Example, I have the application, the front end layer running in the cloud, and the backend sitting in my private cloud, and shared the there are certain services running in a cloud, certain services running in the private. There should be connectivity of the cloud. So that's how the hybrid cloud is fulfilling. Certain organization may say I'm in hybrid cloud. There are application running separately in private, there are applications running separately in cloud. There is no interconnectivity. It's a standalone application altogether. User sitting in the office, if they want to access application A, they are accessing only private cloud and using the application fully depending on private cloud. and there is application B fully hosted in public. This is not a standard way to call I'm using hybrid cloud. If we are calling our infrastructure as a hybrid cloud, the application should share the network between private and public. There should be an option to scale my application to public cloud. Multi-cloud. Why organization going for multi-cloud? Why I cannot stay with the single service provider? Why I need to select the multiple cloud provider? The main first point is vendor lock-in. If the organization thinks I don't want to fully dependent on Microsoft, I need alternative to Microsoft. That is one of the main case most of the organization going for multi-cloud. And second most important thing is specialization. For example, there is one more cloud provider, Oracle, OCA. If your organization using a Oracle business suite, so Oracle, they are very mature in hosting their own services. So there is no other alternative, better alternative option. We have to go for OCA cloud. And my M365 business suite, which is include Outlook, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. So there is no other option at all. So it's a Microsoft product. We have to go to Microsoft services. AWS, they are pioneer in the cloud service. And if you want to full matured and good infrastructure in the best manner, most of the organization selecting AWS. So this is second most important case. And I feel the major disadvantage is you should have the right skill set people. If you have the right team to manage multi-cloud, it's a right choice, and there shouldn't be any vendor lock in. You should go for multi-cloud based on the business requirement. Azure Arc. This is not a cloud model. So since this complete Azure basic series, we are going to talk about each and every Azure resources. So I thought of explaining Azure Arc in the very first video, part of cloud models. Why? Because it's a governance model. If you are using the multi-cloud or if you have the workload in on-premises, so if you want the centralized governance model, Microsoft is providing powerful service Azure Arc. You can bring all your resources which is running in other cloud service provider like AWS or your own on-premises VMware data center, and there is one more Kubernetes cluster. Everything you can connect through Azure Arc into the Microsoft Azure portal. You can patch them. You can apply Azure policies. You can use Microsoft Defender for Cloud to protect them. Some cases you can govern them as well. Rollback access control also we can utilize. So that's why I thought of explaining Azure Arc in the Azure model type. You now just understand what is Azure Arc, why we are using it. There will be separate video in detail explaining how to set up the Azure Arc. Yes, part of this complete video series, I will be going to give you the hands-on practical explanation. So that's why this slide I have added to this video. But here, this video, you can change the word how to select the right vendor, how to start the cloud journey. So I can say it's fully based on your business requirement and your compliance policies. Before selecting the vendor, read about our company policies, the data governance, the data residency policy, and main thing costing. What is our budget? So, and skill set, team skill set. Based on that, we have to select the cloud service provider. So once you complete this complete Azure Basics series, I hope if your organization ready to go for the Azure, you can able to take the decision either you to go for Azure or not. Obviously, if it is all goes well, I will be creating the video for AWS as well as OCA, which is I'm specialist in. So let's see how it goes. Thank you for watching this video. Keep in touch. If you have any query or doubt, please let me know. I'm happy to assist. See you in the next video.